Hi, this is the Pharaoh of the 42nd Dynasty here with a mini documentary. Today I'm going to be discussing mummification. Mummification is basically something just been rooted down in Egypt's history for I don't know how long. Anyway, it's one of the things which the ancient Egyptians are best known for, and I think that I ought to sort of explain what it's like if you don't know. And so we kick things off with the mummification process with removing the brain. This was done through the nose, but nobody's quite sure how they did this. One theory is that they had a hook. Well, they definitely did have a hook, but they used the hook to break a bone in between the nose and the brain case, and they just broke that, and then they hooked the brain out with the nose then. But another theory is that they broke the bone in between the nose and the brain case, and then they poured some sort of substance into the brain case, blotted it about, sat the corpse up, and the brain came gushing out. It sort of liquidized it, which is quite unpleasant, but we'll just gloss over that for now. Next, you have to remove the internal organs. This is more or less the origins of keyhole surgery. There was a little cavity which was made on the left-hand side of the corpse, and the ancient Egyptian priests, one of them was dressed as Anubis, by the way, God of the Dead, they put their hands into the body and they drew out the stomach, liver, lungs, and intestines, not necessarily in that order. Sometimes the heart was taken out with the lungs accidentally, but it was normally replaced back in because they needed the heart in the afterlife, and that's another video for another time. Anyway, next you have to preserve in natron, and most people just say it's the body which needs to be preserved in natron, but it was everything. It was the internal organs as well, and the body. They both had to be preserved at once, which took about 70 days. Anyway, 70 days passed, and then they needed to wrap it. Now, this had to be done immediately afterwards because after a little while, things preserved in natron can become a little bit brittle. So while the flesh was still soft, they just quickly wrapped it. So they did leg, arm. No, they did head, body, leg, arm, and then they put everything into position, like the feet together and hands crossed over the chest or something, and then they wrapped the legs together and then wrapped the arms together and the chest, and yeah, they also wrapped up the internal organs and placed them in canopic jars, as can be seen in the center of the screen. Anyway, finally, they were placed in a tomb. This could have been a mastaba, Mesbrook tomb, or a pyramid, or just a normal rock cut tomb, because it was normally placed in style. It's resplendent in a sarcophagus, as can be seen on the far left of the screen, and they were beautifully made. They can be seen in pretty much every museum which has anything to do with ancient Egypt. You're really unlucky if you don't see one, but most major cities have at least one mummy on display, and of course Egypt has a mummy on display in every town, basically. But anyway, yeah, thank you very much for watching, and if you like this, please like and subscribe, and, well, goodbye. Yeah.